whatever if you wanna go. I will make the biggest thing.
Hello and welcome to Credence Digital Learning. I am your English teacher Astha Jain, and we have already completed the literature portion of class 12 for term 2 exam. So now let's start with the writing skills, which is coming in the exams as section B. Creative writing skills. Although you are habitual with the writing skills from the lower classes, because always you have writing skills coming in your exams, let's first understand what is the syllabus of writing skills of class 12 term 2 English. First, we will be discussing the short writing skills, which includes invitations and replies, which is asked for 3 marks. And the second category will be letter for job application and a report, both of which are included in long writing skills, which are asked for 5 marks. So today we will be starting with invitations and replies. तो सबसे पहले invitation. Invitation सुनते ही हमारे दिमाग में आता है कोई प्रोग्राम, कोई फंक्शन, कोई इवेंट जहां पे invitation दिया जाता है. And all of us have seen the invitation cards. I hope yes. So first of all, let's understand how to make an invitation card. What are the types of invitation cards? What is this card and letter format? Because believe me, this is a very simple writing skill. You just learn the basic tricks and you can easily score 3 marks, which are there for invitations, because the format is going to remain the same. The basic content is going to remain the same. थोड़ा बहुत आपको changes करने हैं और you will get the whole 3 marks. So, first thing, invitations are of 2 types, formal and informal. जैसे ही आपने formal informal सुना, you could relate to the letters, which we have already studied. Letters are already of 2 types, formal and informal. In formal invitations, we have 2 kinds of formats, the card format and the letter format. अब ये card format कब और letter format कब? देखिए, whenever we are organizing a grand function, say a marriage ceremony, a birthday party, in that case we need to call a lot of people. वहां पे हम एक एक को खत तो लिखेंगे नहीं कि आप आइए. What we will do is that we will go for a card invitation wherein cards will be printed, cards will be put in envelopes, and we will write the name on the envelope. So that is basically a card format, and I am totally sure that all of you might have seen the card format invitation in your lives. The second is the letter format. A formal invitation में ये letter format क्या है? Suppose I am organizing a function and I need to invite so and so person as the chief guest. तो क्या मैं chief guest को भी वही invitation दूंगी जो मैं बाकी सभी को दे रही हूँ? नहीं, chief guest is somebody who is a person having an honor. And you have to provide that respect to that person. So in that case, I am going to write a letter to the person whom I want to come as chief guest. So that is about formal invitation. Card format हम तब follow करेंगे जब हम कोई grand function organize कर रहे हैं, जैसे कि birthday party, जैसे कि marriage ceremony. Letter format हम तब follow करेंगे जब हम invitation किसी specific person को देना चाहते हैं, जैसे कि I want to call somebody as the chief guest for my function. And we will be following the format of a formal letter. Formal invitation के लिए letter लिख रहे हैं, तो formal letter का format follow करेंगे. If you don't know the format, don't worry, we are going to discuss it soon. Now the informal invitation. मान लीजिए मैं एक छोटी मोटी birthday party अपने घर में दे रही हूँ और जो बहुत ही close लोग हैं मुझसे, केवल उन्हीं लोगों को बुलाना चाहती हूँ. Then I'll be going with the letter format wherein I'll be drafting an informal letter to my near and dear ones. I hope that's quite clear to you. See, we have invitations and replies which are asked in the short writing skills. Invitations basically are of 2 types, formal invitation and informal invitation. Formal invitation again is written using 2 formats, card format and letter format. जब बहुत grand function है तो card format, जब हम specifically किसी इंसान को बुलाना चाहते हैं, especially as chief guest, तो letter format. और अगर हम इनफॉर्मल इन्विटेशन पे जाते हैं तो देन वी कॉल स्मॉल नंबर ऑफ पीपल, स्पेशली दोज पीपल हु आर वेरी क्लोज टू अस, एंड इन दैट केस वी go by the letter format. So we'll be starting with the formal invitation, that too card format, which is the most frequently asked question in CBSE exam question paper. Formal invitation card format. So whatever cards you have at your place, please grab them in your hands and you will understand the pattern in one go. Remember, card format is the easiest thing of all. दिखने में हो सकता है थोड़ा बहुत complicated लग रहा हो, but then majority of the things are going to remain the same. You have to just change some minor details and those 3 marks will be in the hold of your hands. So let's start with an example that you can see on the board, beginning with Mrs. Manju and Mr. Manik Goyal. So as you can see, these are the names of the host, whosoever is hosting the function. तो कार्ड की बिगिनिंग में टॉप पे आप लिखेंगे the name of the host, वो लोग जिन्होंने आपको बुलाया है. The second line is going to be the standard expression which is going to remain the same in all the cards, which will be request your gracious presence. ज्यादा दिमाग लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है. फर्स्ट लाइन में आप लिखेंगे name of host. सेकेंड लाइन आपकी एग्जैक्टली वही रहने वाली है जो कि मैंने आपको बताई, रिक्वेस्ट योर ग्रेशियस प्रेजेंस. थर्ड लाइन विल बी ऑन द वेडिंग सेरेमनी ऑफ देयर सन. क्या थर्ड लाइन भी सेम रहेगी? नहीं. डिपेंडिंग ऑन द क्वेश्चन यू विल चेंज द ओकेजन, क्योंकि ये वेडिंग सेरेमनी का एग्जाम्पल है, हमने वेडिंग सेरेमनी लिखा है. दिस कैन बी ऑन द मैरिज एनिवर्सरी, दिस कैन बी ऑन द बर्थडे सेलिब्रेशन, दिस कैन बी ऑन द स्पोर्ट्स एनुअल इवेंट और एनी अदर फंक्शन. तो यहाँ पे आपको केवल अपने प्रोग्राम का नाम चेंज करना है, बाकी चीजें सेम रहने वाली हैं. Of their son. Here you will find the name of the persons for whom the program is being organized or the name of the function. मान लीजिए कोई आपने म्यूजिक फेस्टिवल रखा है तो आपने उसको कोई नाम दिया होगा. So those names are going to come over here in bold letters. Then obviously the information about the girl, daughter of Mrs. So and so. Then you will have the date, time and venue. Saturday, December 16, 2021, 7 o'clock in the evening. Obviously, invitation दे रहे हैं तो कब कहाँ आना है वो तो बताना ही होगा. The place, the venue where they are supposed to come. कार्ड के एंड में लिखा है रिसेप्शन टू फॉलो, बिकॉज दे आर इनवाइटेड टू द मैरिज सेरेमनी. उसके बाद रिसेप्शन होने वाला है. लेफ्ट bottom corner we have RSVP. Now what is this RSVP? RSVP is a French expression which simply means that please reply whether you will be coming or not. And then the contact details. Why contact details? In case सामने वाले इंसान को venue नहीं मिल पा रहा है, कुछ confusion है, कुछ clarity चाहिए, तो then you should mention the contact details. So this is the card format for formal invitation. You might have understood कि सारी चीजें जो basic हैं, they are going to remain the same. You have to just change few details here and there, and you will get all those 3 marks. But remember, talking about the kinds of questions, the question may not necessarily tell you whether you have to go by the card format or the letter format. In that case, you have to read the question and analyze. सबसे पहले ये कि ये फॉर्मल है या इनफॉर्मल है. अगर फॉर्मल है तो मुझे कार्ड फॉर्मेट में जाना है या मुझे लेटर फॉर्मेट में जाना है. इट्स वेरी इजी. Whenever they give you a question to draft a formal invitation, say for marriage ceremony, then obviously you will go for the card format. In case they tell you draft a formal invitation to invite Sachin Tendulkar as a chief guest in the sports event that you are organizing, that is a formal invitation, but in that case you will go by the letter format. So please read the question carefully. If you understand the question and the concept, this invitation can easily give you 3 marks without any issues. So this was about the formal invitation card format. Next we are going to start the formal invitation letter format. So now talking about the formal invitation letter format, we are simply going to follow the format of a formal letter. Now what is the format of a formal letter? Let's go through it. So initially, top left hand side corner, you will have the sender's address. Your address should always come in 3 address lines, and don't put commas after each address line. Just leave 1 line after sender's address and you will write the date, After date, you will again leave one line and you will write receiver's address. Receiver's address again is going to come in 3 headless lines. There is only one difference between the format of a formal letter and the letter format of a formal invitation, and that is जब आप receiver's address लिख रहे हैं तो top में आप उनका नाम भी लिखेंगे जिन्हें आप letter भेज रहे हैं. अगर आपको याद हो about the format of a formal letter, वहाँ पे हम receiver's address में केवल designation लिखते हैं like the editor, the chief guest, the manager. Here, the top line of your receiver's address will be the name of the person to whom you are writing the letter. After that, leave one line and write the subject. After that, leave one line and write salutation. I hope you know that pretty well. Your salutation will be respected sir or madam. After salutation, again leave one line and start your content from left hand side corner. The content is going to be a standard content. Don't worry. The content also I'll be telling you now so that you can by heart it, and you will just change few words, few lines here and there, and then your invitation is done. Once the body or content is over, you will go for complimentary closure. Complimentary closure means yours sincerely, your name, your signature, and your designation. Remember to enclose your letter of invitation in a box. The same also applies to the card format. Remember to enclose the card in a boundary. So boundary or a box is a must for all kinds of invitations as well as for all kinds of replies. मैडम क्या लेटर को कॉपी के बीच में से शुरू कर दे? Please avoid doing that. Whenever you are drafting a letter for invitation or a formal letter or an informal letter, try to start it with a fresh page so that it looks quite good. So this is about the format of a formal letter that is used for invitation. Now I'll be telling you the standard content which can be written in the body of the formal invitation, and then your work will be done. पूरे content को आप याद कर लीजिए, एक दो लाइन यहाँ वहाँ edit करेंगे and your invitation is done. So let's move directly into the body. So now we will be discussing about the standard body or the standard content which you can use for your formal invitation letter format, right? It is with immense pride or pleasure, we would like to inform you that now till that your content is going to remain the same. बहुत ही खुशी के साथ हम आपको बताना चाहते हैं कि please remember to use either pride or pleasure. Don't use both words together. So it is with immense pride we would like to inform you that XYZ International School, so name of organizer will change, is organizing its annual cultural event Sangam. So the name of the organizer as well as the name of the program will change on DTV. Now what is this DTV? DTV is date, time and venue. So whenever you are inviting someone, it's very obvious कि कौन सी तारीख को, कितनी बजे, कहाँ आना है. That should be clarified in your invitation. उसके बाद का content is going to remain same for all the invitations. We would be greatly obliged if you could spare some time from your busy schedule to grace the occasion as chief guest. हम बहुत ही खुश होंगे अगर आप अपने busy schedule में से थोड़ा सा समय देके chief guest बनके हमारे occasion को grace कर सकें. Kindly confirm your availability at the earliest. Please हमें बताइए जितना जल्दी हो सके कि आप आ पाएंगे या नहीं, क्योंकि नहीं आ पाए तो we would have to invite somebody else as the chief guest and your email ID. So you might have seen here only the name of organizer and the name of program and date, time and venue will change. Remaining you can write the same content and you can get 3 out of 3 marks. And again, please remember to enclose your invitation in a box, whether it is a card format or a letter format. Right. With this, we are done with the formal invitation, card format, formal invitation, letter format. Now we will be moving to informal invitation. Informal invitation, अगर आपको याद हो तो हमने discuss किया था, we have only one format in informal invitation and that is a letter format. So now moving on to the informal invitation letter format. Now, as I have told you in the beginning, मान लीजिए कोई बर्थडे पार्टी ऑर्गेनाइज कर रही हूं मैं और मैंने बहुत सारे लोगों को बुलाया है. आई एम गोइंग फॉर ए ग्रैंड सेलिब्रेशन. आई विल गो विद अ कार्ड फॉर्मेट एंड इफ आई एम जस्ट कॉलिंग माई नियर एंड डियर वंस एंड आई एम ऑर्गेनाइजिंग अ स्मॉल पार्टी, आई विल गो बाय द लेटर फॉर्मेट बिकॉज दैट विल बी कंसिडर्ड एज एन इनफॉर्मल इन्विटेशन, क्योंकि मैं केवल उन्हीं लोगों को बुला रही हूं जो मुझसे बहुत क्लोज हैं. तो जब भी मैं इनफॉर्मल इन्विटेशन लिखूंगी, आई विल गो विद द लेटर फॉर्मेट एंड आई विल फॉलो द फॉर्मेट ऑफ एन इनफॉर्मल लेटर. सो इट्स एज सिंपल एज दैट. अब याद करिए इनफॉर्मल लेटर का फॉर्मेट. देखिए टॉप लेफ्ट कॉर्नर वी विल स्टार्ट विद सेंडर्स एड्रेस. लीव वन लाइन एंड राइट डेट. No subject is needed, no receiver's address is needed. Leave one line and write salutation. Salutation क्या होगा? Dear friend, dear bestie. Leave one line and your content. I have already written the content for you. Again, you can use the same content with some minor changes wherever needed. कैसे? Let's have a look. You will be pleased to know that it's my, now depending on what is the occasion, it's my birthday or I have purchased a new car or I have brought a new house. तीनों लिख दें? नहीं, केवल एक लिखना है depending on the question. So only this thing you will need to change. We are organizing a party on, so date, time and venue जो हम हमेशा लिखते हैं. तो केवल ऑर्गेनाइजर का जो नाम है वो चेंज होगा सेंडर्स एड्रेस में, जो ओकेजन है वो चेंज होगा, डेट, प्लेस, वेन्यू, टाइम वो चेंज होगा. This is again going to remain the same. I'm sure you will have great time. Do come with uncle and aunt. Your letter is over. Leave one line and write yours affectionately, which is going to be your complimentary closure, or yours lovingly, warm regards, your name and your informal invitation. Letter format is over. Again, don't forget to enclose your invitation or letter in a box and always begin your letter from a new page while writing your examination. So with this, children, you might have understood that invitations are so easy. You have to just by heart some lines. थोड़ा बहुत changes करना है यहाँ वहाँ. So now we are done with the invitations, formal and informal, card format and letter format. Now it's time to discuss the replies. So now moving on to replies. Replies also are of two types, formal replies and informal replies. फॉर्मल और इनफॉर्मल दोनों ही रिप्लाई में दो चीजें होंगी, एक्सेप्टेंस एंड रिफ्यूजल. बहुत ऑब्वियस सी चीज है कि मुझे कोई भी इन्विटेशन मिला, या तो मैं एक्सेप्ट करूंगी या फिर मैं रिफ्यूज करूंगी. सो इन फॉर्मल एंड इनफॉर्मल बोथ यू विल बी हैविंग टू काइंड्स ऑफ रिप्लाईज. ईदर यू विल एक्सेप्ट द इन्विटेशन और यू विल रिफ्यूज द इन्विटेशन. राइट. Now, in case of formal reply, we will go by a box format wherein we will make a rectangular box and we will write 3-4 lines. Again, the lines are going to remain the same with few changes here and there. जैसे कि मैंने आपको invitation में I had given you a standard content जिसको आपको रट लेना है. थोड़े बहुत बदलाव यहाँ वहाँ करेंगे और 3 नंबर आपको मिल जाएंगे. वही चीज रिप्लाई में है. अगर आप एक फॉर्मल रिप्लाई लिख रहे हैं, you will follow the standard content which I will be telling to you with minor changes here and there. तो ये वाला टेंशन तो खत्म हो गया. Now in case of informal reply, whether you are accepting or you are refusing, you will go with the letter format. कौन सा लेटर? Obviously informal letter. तो informal letter का format हम informal invitation में पहले ही discuss कर चुके हैं, and the content I'll tell you. So for both the replies, I'll be dictating the content. You can see the content on the boards. You will use the same content with some changes, and again you will get 3 marks. So you might have realized that these invitations and replies, which seemed so tough in the beginning, are actually so easy. इनमें तो कुछ करना ही नहीं है, 2-3 चीजें बदल के लिखनी है और सारी चीजें अपने आप जगह पे आ जाती हैं. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ द फॉर्मल रिप्लाई विच इज रिटन यूजिंग अ बॉक्स फॉर्मेट. So now starting with formal reply. Formal reply, first of all acceptance. As I told you, you will simply go by a simple format wherein you will make a rectangular box and just read the content. Your content is going to remain the same, just by-heart it with small little changes. Mrs. X and Mr. X would like to thank Mrs. Y and Mr. Y for their kind invitation to the marriage of their son on date, time and venue. So the first line is going to remain the same in all kinds of replies, only you will be changing the name of the organizers, the name of the invitees and date, time and venue. Remaining format is going to remain the same, full stop. They have great pleasure in accepting it and confirm their presence at the venue, full stop. They would also like to wish the couple a happy married life. And with this, your formal reply acceptance is over. What in case you want to write a reply in refusal? You will just change this line, the line that is underlined. Instead of this line, you will be writing this line which states that they regret their inability to attend the program due to prior engagements or due to health issues or due to something else. तो इस तरीके से हमारा फॉर्मल रिप्लाई हो चुका है जिसमें हमने एक्सेप्टेंस भी समझ लिया, रिफ्यूजल भी समझ लिया. अगेन यू हैव टू क्रैम सर्टेन सेंटेंसेस, द फॉर्मेट इज गोइंग टू रिमेन द सेम. थोड़े बहुत बदलाव यहाँ वहां करेंगे एंड दोस 3 marks will be yours. Now moving on to informal reply which is always written using a letter format.